Welcome to TLC, 10 Life Community Podcast, where we dive into the heart of our local community, its wineries, restaurants, business, and real estate. Hi there, I'm Troy Anderson, your host of TLC, along with my co-host, Pamela. We have a special guest again this week, Lawrence Monis with TrueOne. He is a real estate photographer and marketing expert. Welcome, Lawrence.
Hi. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, yeah, thanks for coming on.
I appreciate it. This is it's an honor to be on TLC.
Well, it's interesting I have to introduce you that way because I figured you're a team member of 10 Home Team.
I know. We've worked with each other for quite some time.
I know.
And,
you seem like you're part of the family.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, it's like, okay, we get the A team for our photography, please.
Yes, for sure.
That's what Rebecca and I call you. We're like, we're getting the A team today.
Yeah. It's like, don't send anybody else. We want you.
Yeah.
I'll try.
No disrespect to your other photographers, but, you want the guy himself. Anyway, all right, before we jump into everything TrueOne Group, it's time for Sipping on Success. It's our first segment that we do every week on our podcast where we open a beverage, usually wine, but we will branch out at some point. But Troy, what do you have for us this week?
I have got Armstrong Family Winery. They're Four Birds. It's a right bank Bordeaux version of a blend, which means it's Merlot dominant.
Oh,
Hey, so it's Friday.
It's Friday.
It's Bordeaux. New wine.
Yeah, so it's a blend of 50% Merlot, 27% Cabernet Sauvignon, 14% Cabernet Franc, 9% Petit Verdot, and the kitchen sink. No, just kidding.
I feel like we've just gone through a recipe there.
I know, right?
Oh, that's a big blend.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sure it's a good one. Troy hasn't let me down yet, even though, he usually brings red wine. Sometimes he'll bring me my, what do you want to call it? Porch pounder.
We got to bring up porch pounder, don't we?
Yeah, every episode. But anyway, moving on to the red wine. All right, so Armstrong Family Winery.
And they're actually just down the street from our office.
How convenient.
Yeah. I might have moved here for a reason.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Old office wasn't cutting it. It needed to be next to it.
No, it was in Bothell. There isn't much over there for wineries. What was I saying? You got me all...
Nothing. I'm asking you. My question was, why did you pick Armstrong's?
Oh, yes. I was introduced to them, probably 10 years ago when that space just down the street was built. They moved in there, and we needed to do an event, and I thought it was a perfect location, and it just so happens the wine happens to be wonderful, too. Not quite as wonderful as the owners. Jen and Tim are fantastic people. I've gotten to know them over the years. And it's a good stop, and it's called the Junction right there.
Oh, is it? I had no idea that it had a name down there.
Yeah, it's called the Junction. There's a bunch of wineries, a distillery, a brewery. Shake and Go is there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, cider's there.
That Locust.
Is it
cider?
Along that main strip of?
Literally just down
Oh,
here.
just down the road. Oh,
yeah, it's like a block away.
Oh, okay. Oh, I know it. Yeah. Okay.
You could walk.
Yeah.
There's a car repair.
Yeah, there's a
there,
detailing
too.
place, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, it's called Long's Car Care. They're kind of the outlier because everything's alcohol or food related there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And there's a car wash.
Yeah. Well, going back to Armstrong.
Oh, yeah.
So, we've done some events there. I know you've been doing events there for a long time, but the most recent one that we did actually was our pie event in November.
In November, yes.
We did that at Armstrong. So, like you said, the family that own it, very hospitable, great, lovely people, made us and all of our guests actually feel very, very welcome.
Very welcome, and, yes, all the time.
Yeah, and the wine obviously was great to boot. So anyway, cheers everybody. Here's
cheers.
to a sunny Friday, drinking a nice glass of Armstrong Family Winery.
And it's actually called Four Birds.
Four Birds?
4 is in the number 4.
Mm-hmm. F-O-U-R instead of F-O-R.
Yes.
2020. All
it's
right.
not for the birds. There's 4.
They'd be very lucky. I can just tell this podcast is just going downhill and we've only just started. Anyway, let's try the wine and see what we think. Ooh, yummy.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, Troy, good one.
That's actually really good.
Okay, so what do you think, Lawrence? You said it's very good. What do you taste? What are you kind of getting from this wine?
Well, for me, it's not as what do you call it, like groundy, I guess.
Is earthy?
You're earthy. That's
Yep.
that's the word.
It's not.
You can describe it any way you want.
It's definitely very light,
Mm-hmm.
without being too. There's a little, like the end taste of it. There's a little bit of just a slight snap to it, but other than that, I think it's great.
Yeah, that's usually the Merlot. Causes a little bit of spiciness.
Yeah.
So not pepper though.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not tasting the pepper this
No?
time.
Okay.
No.
Just a little bit. It's like.
Do you?
Mhm.
Or maybe I'm just weird.
Well, everyone's
there is
palate's different.
Yeah. Hmm. I think that's what's so interesting about wine is everybody gets something different from a glass of wine, right?
For
So
sure.
you'll, depending on how your taste buds are working, you might get strong flavors of one thing and somebody else gets something else.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I'm not getting the pepper, but you guys are, but I'm definitely getting lots of kind of juicy fruit flavors from
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I do get that too.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
lots of fruit, and it seems it's a 2020. It seems really young to me. It could sit in the bottle for a while, maybe a couple years.
So when you say a little young, do you mean it just hasn't kind of grabbed that full-bodied flavor yet, or?
Yes. Yeah, I mean it's tight. It just feels like there's a lot of flavors that are maybe fighting each other
Okay.
a little bit, and those tend to mellow out over the years.
It's got nothing to do with the fact that you just opened the bottle and we didn't know.
That might have something to do with it too. I mean, a really good bottles of wine should probably be decanted and left open for a while.
Okay, so that's a really good question. How long would you typically leave it before you actually pour a glass of wine if you were gonna do it justice?
Well, opening the cork and leaving it in the bottle doesn't really do much because you
really?
have a really small surface of wine that's in contact with oxygen.
So
I learned something today too, Lawrence.
pouring it into what's called a decanter, which is kind of a bell-shaped carafe, that's going to give it more exposure to oxygen, which is going to round out the flavors.
And how long would you say?
It really depends. Some people leave them for 4 hours.
Oh, that long.
I don't tend to plan that far in advance sometimes. It's like,
gotta open the
it's like
bottle.
open the bottle, let it sit on the counter for a while. So,
Yeah.
and it's sometimes 2-day old wine, or not 2-day, but 1-day old wine is good.
Right.
It tastes completely different the second day.
So you can buy these gadgets off various sites that supposedly aerate. I know it's the wrong word, but it's the one I'm going to use. But help kind of get that oxygen into the bottle. Do they actually work, or is it just a gimmick?
Yeah, they do.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
They do. There's a little bit of gimmick to it, but there's one that's really nice. So where you pour it in the bottle, or you pour it from the bottle into the decanter.
Okay.
And then the decanter is the top of it is made in such a way that you can pour it back into the bottle, so you can serve it in the bottle.
Oh.
Because I don't know. Sometimes decanters are awkward and.
Okay. I don't know. I kind of like the look of a decanter.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just an aesthetic thing, I think.
I know Armstrong sells them at their tasting room, and they often open their wines and pour it into the decanter and then back in the bottle, so they can do tastings that way.
Oh, okay.
As far as age of the wine goes, what obviously this is a 2-year-old or 3-year-old wine, and then there's some that are 6, 9. What is there really a difference as far as as the in taste as the wine ages, or is it just it depends on?
Yeah, as the wine
ingredients?
sits in the bottle, it's going to change. It's going even though there's a cork in it, it's going to have some interaction with oxygen through the cork, and then sunlight and heat definitely. You need to store your wines at 60 degrees or so is kind of recommended, or below.
Yeah.
Red wines anyway.
Yeah, and we talked about they're it's kind of a misnomer that you can keep them forever and ever and they'll taste good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of nostalgia, opening a 49 Chateau Latour.
I have no idea what that is, but it
I have
sounded
no
good.
idea what that is either, but
Yeah.
or if 49 was a good year.
Maybe for some people.
I know Chateau Latour is good.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right, any other points to note on this winery before we take a quick break? Other than it's one of your
They have a
favorites.
tasting room right down the street, and they also have one in Walla Walla. And I would, if you get to Walla Walla, I would recommend it. They oftentimes the owners are in there, and they also have a farm, and the farm has like an Airbnb on it. So
Oh, wow.
Could be a great experience to go to Walla Walla, stay at Armstrong Family Winery.
Oh, Yeah.
Guess
I'll
what I'll be
definitely
doing
do
after I
that.
finish work today? I'm going to go online and take a look. That's fantastic. All right, so if you haven't tried Armstrong, go give them a try. The tasting rooms are right here in Woodinville, and you'll get a very warm welcome when you go in there, and then check out their website and find out what else they have to offer. All right, so we are done
It's
with
one of my favorites.
I know.
It's really good.
I just
I
had
know.
to throw it in there.
I know. Well, I did say, is it one of your favorites? But I'm not surprised. It's really good, though.
Mm-hmm.
I like red wine, but this is particularly smooth, and I'm like, okay, I could definitely drink a couple of glasses of this.
All right.
I mean, I'd have to take some antihistamine afterwards, but that's fine. All right, we're going to take a really quick break, and when we come back, we'll be deep in conversation with Lawrence Monis from TrueOne Group.
Learn everything about TrueOne.
We will indeed. All right, stay tuned.
Awesome.
We'll be right back after this very short break.
Hey, homeowners and aspiring buyers looking for a real estate team who are about you and your community? Look no further than Tend Home Team. We are here to help you navigate the sometimes overwhelming world of real estate. From buying to selling, we've got your back. Let's work together to find your dream home or sell your current one. Contact us today, tendhometeam.com. Let's get started. Welcome back to TLC, 10 Life Community Podcast. And I'm Troy Anderson, your host, along with Pamela and our guest, Lawrence Monis with TrueOne Photography. And Lawrence, I just want to start the conversation off with, as a real estate photographer, you have a unique opportunity to capture the beauty of people's homes. How did you discover your passion for real estate photography? And what do you enjoy most about it?
Well, I actually started off with the GoPros.
Oh.
And I wasn't even expecting to be in the real estate industry. I was just, at the time I was riding motorcycles, capturing everything, all things video. And
you were the YouTuber?
It's funny. I created several GoPro videos, that were on my motorcycle, and then I also did the drones.
Oh.
And that's how I kind of got a hint of the real estate market. We were selling my house in Redmond, and it's funny, this old guy, he came in, I'm like, hey, what is that? He's like, oh, that's a drone. And I'm like, what does it do? It's like, oh, it takes pictures from above. Here, let me show you. So he took the drone up, and I was like, oh, wow, this is much easier to fly than those remote control helicopters. And he took a picture and showed it to me on his phone. And that's when I knew. I was like, oh, man, this is awesome, man. This is so awesome.
Was that the realtor?
He got you.
That was the photographer at the time.
Okay.
And, I didn't even have a thought about being in the real estate industry. Again, I just wanted to shoot with the drone and the GoPros.
So just for your I'm going to call it extreme sports. It's not, but I mean, just for your riding the motorcycles, you thought that's how you were going to use the drone?
Yeah, I wanted it to follow me around, and I just loved taking pictures from above. It was just, seeing pictures and footage of aerials was just awesome. And I was like, oh man, I want to capture those. And at that time, nobody was really doing it. Right. It was so brand new. And I had the DJI Phantom 2, which you still had to attach a separate camera onto it. It didn't come with the camera.
Oh.
And so...
Were those big white ones with the...
Yeah.
The horseshoe legs?
Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
And they were really loud. And, when I first started, a lot of people were like, what is that? Why are you flying that above my house? But yeah, that's, I wanted to just take pictures of homes, just aerials. And then with the GoPro, I was doing walkthrough videos, and they were so cheap. And if you look back, it's just so terrible.
I know you've got all these gimbals and slides and cool things now.
Yeah.
I know. Every time we turn up at a photo shoot, he's like, "Did you get your gimbal?" There's a particular, it's not a selfie stick, but one with the gyro thing on it to stop the judder. You keep saying, "Did you get it yet? Did you get it yet?"
I know.
Yeah, that's
your job.
Yeah. So they make it photography and videography has evolved so much. And, back to your question, I started off with the GoPros, just wanted to do drone photography for real estate agents. I thought that wasn't enough. And so I was like, oh, let me see what I can do with a camera.
Right.
And why not be a one-stop shop?
Yeah.
And so that's how I really got into it. And I honestly saw other people take photos and whatnot, and I had to learn on my own, and YouTube, and buy classes, and thousands of dollars later.
Architectural photography is definitely way different than portrait photography or.
Totally. It's very technical. With portrait photography, it's really about the lighting, trying to interact with the subject, and getting them to smile, do certain poses.
Right.
Well, real estate photography, you're talking about verticals, horizontals, getting the right composition, and so forth.
That's quite a switch, though, going from like on your motorcycle to homes. I mean, was it just once you started doing the aerial photography that you decided that like the architecture and those kinds of things is what kind of drew you into real estate photography rather than sticking with the motorcycles?
Yeah, no, to be honest, I was looking at Architectural Digest, and I was like, man, these are amazing photos.
Okay.
And I wanted to copy that, and because doing portrait photography can, at least to me, can be stressful. Trying to get the subject to smile, and sometimes you don't get the interaction that they want.
Houses don't talk back much.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, opinionated real estate agents do.
Yeah. That too. It's like, where's my photos?
We need them by tomorrow at 9 a.m., Lawrence.
4 hours later. Come on. I need them at midnight. I'm going to go live at midnight.
Lawrence, we got to get Mount Rainier on our TVs. Come on.
So many requests.
You can handle it.
No, but yeah, no, it's one of the perks of doing real estate photography is, you get to control what you're, taking photos of.
Right.
And one thing too is that the exciting part is actually taking photos of different types of houses, whether it's some rundown house and trying to make it look good, or some high-end home that's all modern and new construction. It's and trying to display that and capture and tell the story of that particular home.
Right.
So that's what excites me, is just getting to take pictures of different types of homes,
right,
and trying to tell a story for each one.
Yeah, I mean, because the power of visual storytelling is pretty remarkable, right? So, how do you approach, photographing a home to ensure that you capture its character and its essence really accurately? Because, I mean, everybody's interpretation when they look at things is different, and so you have to do your best job to have it kind of speak to everybody. How do you kind of get that balance right?
Right. So that involves talking to the agent what he wants to capture. It sometimes it involves the seller, because it's just, they've lived in that home for quite some time and they want to tell their story. So it's quite a balance. And
they think one particular feature of the house is important.
Yeah. You're like, no, it's not that important. It's this specific spot. But really, it's the style of the home. Whether it's a Tudor modern home, a mid-century modern home. And so I take a look at that first, and then also keep in mind on what the real estate agent wants and what the seller wants, and kind of try and meet a happy medium between everything, but also have my own input.
Right, well, because it's your artistic license to a degree, right? I mean, at the end of the day, it's your name that's on that photograph.
Right.
At the end of the day, I mean, yes, it's for the agent and the homeowner, but it's still a representation of your business and your.
Right, and the ultimate, or what it comes down to is who's going to be looking at this home.
Right.
And so I always keep that in mind, like what buyer is going to be looking at this home.
And from my perspective as a real estate agent, I want to show off just enough to get someone out to see it, but not necessarily give away the whole farm per se.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, there's certain nuances to properties that you want to highlight and other things you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also think, you know, when you walk in the door, you get a feeling for the house that you don't necessarily, you get an idea through the photography, and like you're saying, that's what you want. You want to spark that interest, like, oh, this could be it. It's exciting.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, enough to get them through the door so they can see everything that the property has to offer.
Yeah, and sometimes it just involves simple features like, you know, sometimes it's the kitchen. Just the kitchen itself sells the home, you know.
I would imagine actually the kitchen is a big one for most people.
Yeah. Kitchens, master or primary bedrooms.
Yeah. But you know, some also location, I think, and that's where the aerials come in.
I just want to go
Yeah,
back
we
to
love
something-
doing the aerials.
Oh yeah, I know you love going out there with the drones. I've
Oh, yeah,
taken
playing
many a
with
picture
toys.
of the two of them playing with the, you know, Troy's watching the drone go up and you're navigating it, and I'm just like, it's like boys and their toys.
Hey, it's one of the many perks of you know being a real estate photographer.
Yeah.
You know, we do have many toys.
Yes, well, you've got a few of them on the table to show us today. But I just wanted to just circle back on something you said there. You know, when you talk about the different styles of houses, do you approach kind of the lines, you know, and the way you actually take a photo dependent on the property? So you mentioned mid-century modern. Do you take a completely different approach to that with your angles on photography than you would with like a modern farmhouse or something like that?
I do. One of the things is, of course, a mid-century modern home and all its staging is going to look completely different than you know, a farmhouse, and so you have to take that into consideration. With mid-century modern homes, I actually do a lot of single point photography, meaning it's basically straight down, and the point of concentration is right in the middle.
Yeah, you've got to like catch beams, if they have any upper windows in the top of the roof.
Yeah,
and
and
so
the shape of the windows and
For
so
sure.
forth. And the same thing goes for like modern homes,
Right.
because they're very square and
Kind of linear.
very linear. So you have to capture that as well.
Yeah.
Traditional homes and Tudor homes, you can get away with the 2-point perspective, and so that's basically, you know, the two walls.
Yeah, got it. Take
You
one from the
see.
doorway, take one from the back corner.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, and that's it, and that again, it kind of there's a thing in architecture that they talk about, and it is the 1-point perspective and the 2-point perspective. There are different perspectives, but those are the ones that are very linear, and it captures the space in a very like straight linear way, and it makes the room feel realistic to the
Yeah.
user, depending on
I can see
the
that.
lens.
Yeah.
You know, there's some photographers that try to capture all the walls. I'm like, why are you doing that? That's where the balance starts to look really weird.
Yeah, you get these weird.
Like-
It's almost like it's domed or.
Yeah, it's sometimes like if you're capturing like a big table like this, it seems like the table's like leaned over.
Right.
You know, and same with the walls. If you're trying to capture all the walls,
It seems like the walls are curved.
a
sometimes.
curve. Yeah. It just
It's like you put a fisheye lens on
Yeah,
your camera
right,
or
right.
something like that. Yeah.
Right, and so for me, I'm very big on composition. Again, I talk about the 1-point perspective and 2-point perspective because those are the most typical in architectural photography. So I'm not trying to apply that with real estate photography.
Yeah. No, I think you do strike a really good balance. I mean, I follow you around when you're doing the photography, you know, taking my own, and it's, you know, it looks easy, but it's really not. I mean, you really are like taking the whole house into view, right? And
Right.
figuring out what's going to work.
Yeah, I mean, and it's so funny when a portrait photographer comes into the game, and they think it's easy, and they try to, you know, they think it's just as easy as placing a tripod and a camera in one corner of the room and just taking the picture, you know, and it's not. You really have to tell a story.
Yeah.
You know, the one thing I appreciate about you is you were out of town or something, and I had to do a photo shoot, and this guy gave me like 75 photos.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, and I'm like,
That was the Linwood
That's
home.
not helpful. You need to give me, we'll just pick the ones you like. It's like, no.
Yeah.
That's...
You tell us which ones are the best.
Yeah.
You take the best of the best, and, we're limited to 40 photos on the current MLS, and so, we go over 40, then we have to decide, but, yeah.
Well, it's all about flow, and
That's for sure.
When I take pictures, I have to think about, okay, from the entrance of the home to the next room, and I'm trying with the pictures, I'm trying to create a story by trying to connect each image together, so that way the buyers don't or whoever is viewing these images, they don't get confused. I've seen sellers just slap on the MLS all the photos just in no complete
willy-nilly
order.
around them.
Yeah,
Order.
and you're like, oh, is this room? Does the master right next to the entrance?
Right, because cognitively people want to see it as though they were walking through the front door and into the first room, and then so on and so forth. I try and do the same thing when I'm doing the social media videos of houses. It's like, okay, what's the continuity and flow?
Right.
And that's what we appreciate about the way you deliver the photos for us.
Yeah. I mean, it's again, it's all about telling a story and making it easy for the potential buyer to think how the home flows. So
I love seeing iPhone photos, though, or
it's crazy.
the homeowner ones. It's like, where are you guys taking these? This is a room for opportunity for me to come negotiate with you.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy. That still goes on because they're trying to cut corners and save money, but in actuality, you're
stepping over dollars to pick up dimes.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I think what I've noticed is that, and we've talked about this before, purchasing a home is a really emotional experience. So, and sometimes you can't see past certain things. So having that good story through photography before you get somebody through the door helps kind of set the tone for, what they're going to walk into. And, a lot of people have a visceral reaction to the photos, right, before they even get there, and it gets them excited. And I think that's why it's so important to have really great photos before you do anything else.
Well, online, people have such a short attention span.
Yeah.
So those first few photos that they see on MLS or Zillow or Redfin, it's gonna...
Don't mention Redfin in here.
Oh, okay, sorry. Never
Dirty,
Redfin.
bad word.
Dang it, that's a bad word. Just bleep it out, okay? But yeah, you only have up to 30 seconds to capture their attention. That goes along with video, Matterport, and if you don't capture the attention with the first few photos, they're gonna look for the next.
Yeah, and that's what I tell sellers when I meet with them too. It's like people aren't necessarily choosing houses, although in this environment, there's some of that, but buyers are really disqualifying houses online first before they even go out to see it. So you want your place to shine.
Yeah, I mean, there's great places or great listings that have terrible photography.
Yeah, those are the ones where there's opportunity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I look at them, I'm like, whoa, that's just
why
terrible.
did you do that?
For this, and I've seen it on $1 million homes.
Really?
Well, it's because they hired their cousin's brother's best friend who happens to serve the state part-time.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I have my head in my hands here.
Like, oh, this is terrible.
Well, that should be a segment about who you hire matters.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that is kind of one of our taglines of who you
is.
hire matters, because we understand the importance of making sure that the services you provide for somebody that's selling their home are top level, so that you're not discounting people before they even walk through the door.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, okay, so, I mean, we could go on and on and on and on about questions about photography, but, this is a local show too, so maybe we should find out what Lawrence knows about Woodinville.
Sure.
What do you think?
What do I know?
What do you know? No.
It's wine country.
It sounds like you should have started singing a song there as well. It's wine country. All right. So Woodinville's renowned for its wineries. You're tasting a delicious bottle. In the break there, you told us how much you were actually enjoying that. So we've got wineries, we've got breathtaking scenery. You know, how does this beautiful region that we live in inspire your photography? And, you know, do you have any favorite spots that you find particularly inspiring?
You know, the new school area in downtown Woodinville.
The schoolhouse district?
The schoolhouse district. Oh, gosh. When the first time I met you down there too.
Yeah, we did a feature video.
Yeah, we did a feature video, and I was like, oh man, this place is gonna be awesome. And I was like, and then we went there several times. We ate some hors d'oeuvres over. Yeah, I think you were there too.
I was there. Yes.
Yeah, that was over at Wooden Creek.
Yeah, that's right.
This place is so awesome. It's just, it's not too hectic, and what I love about it is like everyone knows each other. Everyone knows each other. It's like, hey, you know, especially you, Troy. Like, I mean, yeah, you're part of it, but
what are you trying to say?
The mayor's down there quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's just a homely feel, and I like that. I like that. You know, I go to like Bothell. I mean, Bothell's a great place too. I mean, they got a lot of places that you can explore, but you know, everyone, at least from me, everyone's kind of minding their own business, just kind of going about. While in the Woodinville,
I think you know, we talked about this last segment. Those developments were done so well and so walkable. It creates a sense of community.
Yeah.
Just going down there, you know, you go to one shop, you end up in another.
Yeah. Just keep going.
Just keep going.
Yeah. And it's everyone, again, everyone knows each other.
Yeah.
And that's what's awesome about the whole schoolhouse district. And just the area alone too, you know.
It's pretty and everybody's nice.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing. It's community, right? Which is really what you know, it's that small town community feel that Woodinville still maintains. And we talked about this in numerous shows. But right, but somebody that doesn't live in Woodinville, it's always great to get an outside perspective.
Yeah.
Obviously, you find it friendly, but what else do you think sets it apart from, you know, other cities in the Seattle metro area? I mean, you don't just take photography for us. So you're all over.
Although we wish you did.
I know. Like, I mean, he is a team member. You know.
Let's talk about salary.
Offline.
So what? To be honest, it's what it all boils down to is really it's how I always think Woodinville is wine. I from an outside perspective, I always want to go to like. The Chateau Saint Michel, just being there, just that whole experience, you know, that's awesome. Making having to make reservations to explore, and really that's just it. I can't really think of anything else.
All right, so I think we have to do a little bit of an introduction trip for Lawrence because it's not just all about wine.
It's not all about wine.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got great restaurants now, great places to eat, you know.
Yeah, I have gone to that one place where they do entertainment there, where they're doing like concerts and stuff. That was pretty awesome. By the school, right by the soccer
during
field.
The summer?
Yeah, during the summer.
Oh, yeah. The
Celebrate
summer concerts.
Woodinville.
Yeah. It's called Celebrate Woodinville. They do 4 concerts and 4 or 5 concerts, I forget.
Yeah. So that was actually pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you have that area right there, and it's not like overly crowded. It's, you know.
Those are some of our favorite things to do. We run into pretty much everybody that we know. And get to say hi and listen to music in the park, and the whole thing's a quote unquote beer garden. So as long as you're inside the fence, you can be drinking wine or beer, cider, spirits, whatever you want. Or
there's usually food trucks there too, right?
there is. Food trucks. There's local vendors too. You get to learn about your local businesses as well.
Well, that's coming up, so everyone should stay tuned
July.
for more details about that. Yeah, it's not that far away.
I know.
Okay. Any more photography questions? We've got loads of photography questions that.
There's always other podcasts.
Exactly. Episodes of TLC.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I think we just take it. You know, we just kind of wrap the real estate roundup, as we call it, right into photography.
Okay.
You know, I've used Lawrence for several years, and we offer premier concierge services for our clients, which is a different level of service. So we do obviously professional photography by an architectural photographer, and we also do short videos, intro walkthroughs. We do aerial photos, which are great because I'm super visual. I want to know what's going on around me, and so I find those very helpful. And I've had clients tell me there are too. It's a shopping center down the street, Lake Washington's within walking distance. Parks and schools.
There's the Burger King.
There's the Burger King. We did have one client that wanted to feature a Burger King, so
Again, that goes back to what's important, right, for the sellers.
Yeah.
Being able to make sure that we give them what they want.
But it's always like I try to tell them though too. Is like it's ultimately who your buyers are going to be.
Yeah.
And so again, we're a one-stop shop, and we offer 3D Matterport, aerials, and videography, short videos, and of course photography. And out of all those, it really, depending on how you want to market the home, those can all apply.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know about you, Troy, but I think I certainly get super excited when we know that the photos for a new listing are in.
For sure.
Let's have a look.
It's like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Open them up.
No, I mean, it's true, because not just for the sellers and the buyers, but for us as the agents representing the sellers, we're excited to see what we can show for the sellers and how that's been interpreted. I always think that's a great thing. So, photography is super important. I mean, maybe number one importance.
It's always number one.
For you, you're the photographer. What about you, Troy?
Well, I mean, for us, it's a process. We include staging with our listings as well. So, we start with the dining room table. We sit down. We talk about numbers. We talk about plans. We talk about goals, and then we kind of formulate a working plan of scheduling this stuff. What we're going to do. We also include landscaping services. So, I mean, we're full service. If you want to take it even further, we do contracting and construction services as well. Those are paid up front if you desire, and then you can get paid at closing. So paint and carpet, countertops, things like that are going to add value to the house, of course. No extraneous stuff that we're just doing because of the...
Yeah.
So anything that's going to add value and I think is going to get a return on investment, we definitely suggest doing. So I guess all that to say, it starts as a process. Photography is definitely a very big part of it. It's kind of the curtains up.
Yeah, it's the showcase. It's the finale.
Yeah. So we got
the last part of the puzzle.
Yes.
It is pretty much. Yeah. So we're orchestrating, and I'm taking artistic. I don't know, what do you want to call it? I'm basically the director of the show. So
yes, maestro.
Yes,
Maestro.
I lost the word.
The conductor. The conductor.
Yes.
So based on what the client needs and what their level is and what we've agreed to do to get the house on the market and what we think is going to showcase it the best, we put in place, and then Lawrence comes in and he does a grand performance. So curtains are up and he's doing his performance, and we got at the end of the day a really great product to put out there for people to enjoy, and that's our goal, is to have it be the best of the best.
We are simply the best.
Yep.
That's my little note to Tina Turner there.
Yeah. Oh, I heard the news.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's quite the year.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think, just to kind of expand on what you're been explaining, one of the things that I try to do for you guys is to always make sure that I'm, again, telling a story, making sure that the lighting is all, perfect, and filling in, taking out all, if there's anything that needs to be photoshopped, we'll make sure that it's
I guess what we didn't talk about was the tips for people when we're coming around to do the photos. We didn't cover
Well,
that. Maybe.
yeah, we want the tips are open all the blinds, turn on all the lights,
Close the toilet.
See?
The toilet seats.
The big one, make sure all your light bulbs work.
Yes.
Those are the hardest thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, we worked on several listings together where there was no light bulbs, and so that's where I kind of come in with these. These are little.
I wondered what that was. Can you describe it for those people that are listening and not watching?
Yeah, so this is an aperture light bulb. It's actually battery powered through an outlet or a bulb outlet of a lamp, and so you can actually turn it on by itself. I think if it doesn't turn on,
It's out of battery.
I think it's out of battery, but it lights up by itself, and we put it anywhere where it needs to be to light up.
Okay.
Like say a lamp that doesn't have a bulb, or
I remember that one listing by Lake Washington where we put the seller forgot to change the power over or something.
Yeah,
the power was off.
There's no power.
So did you have to go around to each room and put that in to get light?
Well, it was during the day, so
it was during the day, so we had good light except for in the closets
and the bathroom. The bathroom is where this came in handy, and it helped us light up the.
Who else's photographer walks around with a aperture light bulb in their pocket?
Lawrence is constantly,
Yep.
putting dimples in pillows and moving things around and taking the dish towels off. So
yeah,
I mean,
that's what I appreciate about you. You don't just walk in and take the photos. You really, attention to
detail. Yeah, and that's one thing that I try to differentiate myself from other photographers. Granted, there are other great photographers that do that, but that's a number one key because we're displaying your photos on our website too, and so if someone happens to see an off pillow or all the pillows are all messed up, and that's a reflection on us. That we're just there to take pictures and we're there to actually move stuff and make sure it looks proper in the image.
You care about how the end product turns out. You care about how the seller sees their home. Okay. Yeah. Well, I think that's all we have time for this week. It went by in a flash again.
Dang, I was just getting started.
I know.
Well, I guess what that means is Lawrence has to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be honored to come back again and talk more.
Perfect.
Yeah, so real quick, let's just end plugging Lawrence here so other people can use his services because I hate seeing terrible photos on listings.
But don't use him too much that we can't get hold of him.
Right.
Sorry, Lawrence.
You guys are always my number one.
Oh.
All the new ones, I'll give them over to my other photographers.
Yeah, and they're good too. They're just...
I'm constantly training them. So.
Good stuff. All right, so if people want to get hold of you, Lawrence, where do they find you?
Yes, they can find me on social media, which is at TrueOne Group. That's TrueOne Group, just like it sounds.
Yeah. TrueOne Group.
TrueOne Group, and
TrueOne is one word.
All one word, yeah. And they can find me on Instagram, same handle, Twitter, Facebook. And if they want to visit our website, it's www.trueonegroup.com. And
I'm laughing because you said www.
I know, no one says that anymore, Lawrence.
Oh, sorry. I'm old school.
That's okay. Giving your age away.
WWE.
World Wide Web.
WWF. World Wrestling Federation.
Oh,
okay, so.
All right, so that's how you can get hold of Lawrence. If you want to find out more information about Tend Home Team, you can go to our website, which is tendhometeam.com, or you can give Troy a call. He'll be happy to chat with you about any of your real estate needs, and he is available on 206-504-3660.
Yep, just Google Troy Anderson or Tend Home Team will come right up.
Yeah,
and we're on all the socials.
We are Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
And speaking of YouTube.
Yep. So if you like the show and you're watching, what do they need to do, Troy?
Ding the dinger.
That's the same as subscribe, people. All right. Nice. Well, this has been a lot of fun.
And subscribe to the podcast too on your favorite platform. We're on everything.
Wherever you find your podcasts, we're there. TLC, Tend Life Community. It's been a pleasure. Thanks very much for going on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. All right. Until next time.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Are you in the market for a new home or looking to sell your current one? Tend Home Team is here to help. As community-focused real estate agents, we are dedicated to providing personalized service and support throughout the entire process. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or a seasoned pro, we've got you covered. Let us take the stress out of your real estate journey. Contact us today at Tend Home Team and learn more about our services.